Hello, everyone, and welcome again for another week to the GTHub podcast. I am once again Forzar18, and joining us is the ever-present Rob.
Hi.
And, of course, the smartest in the room, Pigeon.
Hiya.
Yeah, well, that one's just fact, Pigeon, sorry. Putting you on the spot there, but, you know.
Not really.
Credit where credit is due. Today we'll have a mixed bag of things. Primarily, we'll start with F1, and then go to Shanghai for the Asian Le Mans Series opener. And then, for the meat of the episode, we will discuss a raft of IndyCar news that has broken over the past couple of weeks that we may have not gotten to. And we'll close with various news items, of which there may or may not be some Alonso mentioning. So this episode might be quite Alonso heavy. Apologize for that, but that's the news for you. So yeah. And without any further ado, I'll let Rob and Pigeon take it away with the F1, since I did not get to see any of it. So take it away, guys.
Yeah, I actually got to watch an F1 race for once.
Rob actually watching something. I'm shook.
Yes, I know. I am very shook as well. I mean, okay, I couldn't actually really walk at the time, but I was mentally shook. I think it's fair to say.
So you were both mentally and physically shaken. Got it.
Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty much the end of an era in a way for, well, actually quite a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I think the end of an era in terms of one technical aspect, I think, as well.
Yeah, in some way.
Yes, and I believe that is the tyres becoming 18-inch for next year in terms of rim size.
What you mean being normal road car size, yeah.
Or rather conveniently LMP1 sized.
It's a Pirelli, so that will never happen.
Yeah, true. But no, as for the race itself, it was, well, by Abu Dhabi standards, it was all right, actually.
Yeah. Compared to normal Abu Dhabi races.
Well, compared to normal Abu Dhabi races, where it's more tempting just to actually watch the first couple of laps and then, I don't know, put the football on or something. Yeah, it was a half-decent race, I found.
I mean, there was carnage on the opening lap, which always helps create some action.
Well, carnage is one way of putting it, I suppose. Yes, for those of you who hadn't seen it,
Me.
Nico Hulkenberg, his
I saw
season
this bit.
ended about half a lap into the race.
Yeah.
Wow,
About
was it really
35
already?
Yeah, it was like 35 seconds in.
Oh, I thought that had happened in the race. I didn't know that had happened at the start.
Yeah, at the
Wow.
turn 8 and 9 chicane on the first lap.
Yeah. He came together with... Who
Grosjean.
was it? Grosjean, cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Le
Who else would
Grosjean.
it be?
Oh, absolutely. And he went himself a rolling.
How many times did he roll? Like what? Once, twice?
It was like 1.5.
Yeah, about 1.5 times.
Yeah, because he landed on his roof. Well, I say
Well,
roof.
his halo.
Roof. Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't actually land. The halo didn't actually touch the ground because his rear wing was a tyre barrier.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and they ended up having to, well, once they put the very, very small fire out at the back of the car, they very slowly and gently lowered the car the right way up, which is actually the exact opposite of what happened to old Mauricio Gugelmin at the French Grand Prix in 1990, where they literally just
chucked him over.
chucks him over, and you can. And oh god, the thing I find worst about the Gugelmin one is that you can actually the way his head moves.
Oh,
Like, oh, it's just as well he'd actually been able to shout at the marshals, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
Because that couldn't have ended very badly indeed for him. But yeah, after that, safety car came out for a little bit, and
few laps.
a few laps, some safety car things happened, i.e., next to nothing.
Yep.
And eventually, it was back underway again
For 2 laps. And then Kimi Räikkönen decided he didn't want to finish the season properly. And he just pulled up on the start-finish straight.
So you mean he was eager to go back to Sauber then? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was eager to not go to the FIA prize giving gala, I think.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, they do give you rosewater there, so yeah, why would you want to be on the podium?
Oh no,
Exactly.
I mean, absolutely.
There's rosewater on the podium, but champagne back at hospitality.
Yeah,
So.
you see, Kimi Räikkönen knows. He's smart.
Be like Kimi. I'm sure he'd do just
Sometimes,
fine.
not all the time.
I'm sure he'd do just fine on a night out in Southampton, but anyway. Yes, and then after that, I think it quietened down a little bit.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part, people drove round. Van Dorn had a particularly tasty double overtake on, I believe it was Grosjean and Ocon. Very, very lovely.
Yeah, that was a very nice battle between those 3.
So you mean it was a battle of unemployed people for next season? Yeah.
Well,
minus
one
Grosjean.
unemployed.
Yeah.
Well, and Van Dorn technically, because he's got the HWA Formula E gig.
Well, yeah, but they're not employed in F1, though, are they?
Yeah.
Ocon, I think, might be.
Don't call a reserve driver employment, because that's just standing at the back of a grid. Or not even the grid, the garage.
Oh, with the headphones on, looking pretty.
Yes.
Ah.
Well, trying to
It's
just look not being bored.
Although,
hard job.
if Ocon doesn't replace Bottas by the end of next year, I'll be amazed. Unless Bottas seriously improves.
He's a safe pair of hands. They only need someone that can not race in Hamilton.
If Leclerc shows up next year,
that's the question.
Mercedes will be in trouble.
Yeah, if Leclerc actually comes and looks as fast as he's being in a Sauber and a Ferrari, they're going to have to turn up the wick on
Bottas. Yeah. Yes, because that's Charles Leclerc, lads, looks like he might be a decent prospect for the future.
Of course, there's always the outside chance that they might elevate George Russell into the Mercedes seat and just slot Ocon into the Williams. So yeah,
that would just be so unfair.
Which would almost be ironic considering where they plucked Bottas from in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go figure. Yes, it was also a disappointing end to his F1 career for Marcus Ericsson, and more on why I said that later.
Ah, yes.
Yes, you see,
he's not leaving F1 entirely. He'll still have a nice job standing at the back with some Alfa Romeos. Yeah.
Standing next to some very, very pretty cars.
Yes, he'll get paid to be driving some Alfa Romeos in Italy somewhere. Just don't feel so bad for the man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That he's got it good next year, I think. Yeah, and then eventually everyone else kept on driving round. Then Ocon and Gasly both conked out within a matter of
3 laps.
3 laps, yes. Gasly.
So nice of them to allow the retiring Red Bull driver to actually finish then.
Yes. And
it's quite funny. 4 out of the 5 retirements were people who are either leaving the sport or changing teams.
Yeah.
Funny how that works out. Yeah.
Yes.
The only drivers who were left in that at the time were guaranteed to be leaving were Alonso, Ricciardo going to Renault, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
And Sawatkin.
Well, yeah.
There's only 3 drivers left.
Love it. And yes, meanwhile, on the penultimate lap, Alonso, or 3 laps from the end, Alonso was seen to be shortcutting the chicane.
I don't know what track he was driving.
Uh,
It wasn't the Abu Dhabi track.
I think
no,
he was
not at all.
confusing it for Bahrain, yeah, because he had another track in his
It's
mind.
like when you get that bug on the Formula 1 game online where you're actually on track to everyone else.
Bethesda.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, they're the ones, yeah.
Oh. Check that one off the bingo card. Rob's saying something wrong, yeah.
Yes, and it turns out that Alonso actually done that for the last 3 laps.
He got 3 different 5-second penalties.
Yes, he got 3 5-second time penalties in as many laps, which was absolutely brilliant. But then Charlie Whiting
Well, I mean,
did
he's already
say,
outside the points anyways, so what's the point?
yeah, exactly. Charlie Whiting said there was absolutely no point in disqualifying him because that would have achieved absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You know your day's gone pretty bad when that's the case. You're like, you just keep breaking the rules, but it's pointless to penalize you because we know it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Alonso should get a race ban for the next F1 race.
Yeah, disqualification, yeah.
No. Race
that's
ban for the next WEC race.
Ooh.
Hurt him more, given that A, he's still in with a chance of winning the championship, and B, we all know what the next WEC round is.
Do we?
Sebring?
I've forgotten.
1,000 miles of Sebring.
Oh, it is.
I had just said Sebring, yeah.
Yes, the 8 hours or 1,000 miles. So
It's actually 10 hours, isn't it?
I thought it was 8.
I think it's
I
8.
don't know. Is
I
that
think they're trying to
Oh,
average.
yeah, it is 8. Yeah, you're right.
500
Yeah.
miles in 4 hours.
It has to be 8 because they can't do anything because they have the pilot challenge on before it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be brilliant weekend of action.
Sorry, go on, yeah.
I mean, Sebring always is.
Yes. But at the end of the race, it was a win for. Well, who
Are we
else? Really?
surprised?
No, we're not surprised at this stage that Hamilton won.
What? You mean Hamilton won? I thought it was Sebastian Vettel. Damn.
I mean, he's only won 5 of the last 7.
Then again, the one thing which Vettel did win was the post-race press conference banter.
That was awesome.
That
So
was
you mean
hilarious.
What he's always done then? Yeah.
Yes, he's not in free practice mode anymore, shall we say?
What did he say?
Oh, don't.
Oh God, yes. Right, so
Paraphrase, he said something bad. Yeah.
It was,
so he was asked by
just a
journalists.
massive innuendo.
Yeah, massive
Oh,
innuendo.
dear.
He was
So
asked
what he
by-
did in Brazil then? Yeah.
So he was asked by journalists, okay, what are your plans for the off season? And Hamilton said to Vettel, "Oh, you could have another kid." And Vettel said to Hamilton and Max Verstappen that they were both in the free practice mode, and that he was already in qualifying.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'll give him that one.
It was made even better, I think, when Verstappen said that he likes free practice.
All right, then. Moving past that one, yeah.
But yeah,
Yes, moving very quickly past that one, slightly quicker than I can run, in fairness.
yeah. So it was Hamilton first, Vettel second, Verstappen finished third. Amazingly, didn't manage to crash into anyone this time, although he tried his best.
Dun 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 dun.
So you mean he was breathing and driving?
You almost
Yeah.
very nearly crashed into Ocon again.
God. You know, that would have actually just been perfect way to send off the season. Be like, you're going into unemployment, and I'm just going to crash into you just to finish off the season.
And then Ricciardo was fourth, Bottas fifth in quite a dismal drive, to be honest. It was pretty dreadful.
Yeah.
Sainz sixth with probably what I think was his best drive of the season, coming from 11th. I think it was like a 35 lap first stint. But yeah.
On what sort of tires?
So the ultra softs. He took them 35 laps.
Actually,
and
it's appalling, yeah.
And then pitted for super softs for the last 20.
There is good news though. There's no more confusing hyper soft, super medium, ultra duper, super soft.
Super hard.
Yeah.
He's got a set of super hards on.
Ultra mega super hyper soft. Yeah.
Yeah. Chewing gum.
Basically, yeah, the chewing gum's going away, I think. Yeah, because also Pirelli has a new 4-year tire deal, so yeah, there's that. As if that wasn't any doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds interesting. The only interesting bit was the fact that they got to do donuts at the end. So
that was one hell of a send-off for Alonso, though.
I'm surprised they were allowed to do donuts without the FIA fining everyone and throwing them out. Yeah.
I think they just decided not to bother fining them because they knew it was the last race or something. I don't know. But no, they did the right call in not fining.
They need to take a page out of the book that McLaren did, though. Because the one thing McLaren did right this weekend was doing the helmet-like kind of livery on Alonso's car.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, I thought.
That would help immensely with identification. Putting the driver's helmet colors on the fin. Or on the halo, either one. Probably not the halo, because that would look weird. So put it on the fin.
Put it on Bottas.
Or Raikkonen, yeah.
Or Raikkonen, yeah.
Actually, in fact, yeah, just get a fin, a random fin, and then they just have to be sitting on the car just throughout the race. And he has a number board, what car it is. See, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, sounds legit. Sounds very legit.
Yeah, oh, enough of that silliness.
But what else is new?
Yeah. Let's see here. Now we move into one of the really the better races of the year, actually, because the Asian Le Mans Series had actually some good racing, and a really good grid, actually.
Cool, blimey, yeah, they did have some. They have some pretty big names in there this
For once,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be sounded pretty tasty as well.
Well, when when the leader retires about 15 minutes into the race, and then the leader that takes over from his spot also retires from the race. Yeah, I think you have the sense of where this is going.
Yes. Does it involve the Birmingham screwdriver, shall we say?
No idea what that means.
£10 lump hammer?
No, but there was an engine blow up, yeah.
Oh, right, I was going to say, I'll take it the WD-40 and the zip ties would not have made any difference then.
No, because the number 8 of Pipo Derani was on pole for the race in the LMP2 field and up front. And he was immediately passed by the number 24 entry of Algarve Pro Racing, which had Andrea Pistola, who was the newly crowned European Le Mans Series champion. Harrison Newey. Golded. I'm newly golded, yeah. Harrison Newey and at De Jong in their Ligier SP2 Judd. And they led for about 9 laps. Because that was all that they got to run in the race.
Oh, no.
Because they conked out at the end of the front straight just at pit out. So yeah, smoke pouring out the back of it in spectacular fashion, and that put them out before they could even start. The next team to hold the gauntlet for in P2 was, of course, the defending champions in the number 1 Jackie Chan DC Racing by Joda, Oracle 5 Nissan, of Jasmine Jafar, Nabil Jeffrey, and Weiran Tan. But on the 36th lap of the race, a wheel fell off their wagon, quite literally, and that put them out. And almost was high speed fashion too, because the wheel decided to fall off right at pit in, so right at the gravel trap that you would on the front straight as you're coming onto it. The left rear tire fell off because the wheel nut had come loose, and as the wheel nut exited stage left, so did the tire, and the car shot into a series of quick spins and almost ended up in the tire barrier. So I don't know who was at the wheel, but they were a very lucky boy they did not hit the tire barrier there, and that put them out.
Yeah.
The tire made its bid for freedom, and the tire won that one. So that put out the two front-running cars, and that left the 6 remaining LMP2s to battle out for the win. Which was actually pretty interesting because it came out between an even split between the AM cars and the Pro cars. At one point, the ARC Bratislava guys were out front and leading, and with a shot of actually winning the race. So, yeah, that was good on them. So they're looking like they're in strong contention for a potential LMP2 bid in at Le Mans next season, with the form that they're showing in the AM class. But in the GT cars, or in the GT ranks, it was the battle of the car guy Ferrari. Well, actually, it was just a Ferrari battle with the Aston, because the Tianchi Racing cars, unfortunately, they were in the battle all day long, really. Actually, all weekend long, considering the what started out as the number 66 Audi ended up turning out to be a Mercedes to complete the weekend, because a fire kind of took that Audi out, and there were no replacement engines on site, and they couldn't bring a car from somewhere, so they had to do the remarkable job of trucking in one of their customer cars that they run in Blancpain, Asia, all the way from their base in Zhuhai, all the way across China to get to Shanghai. And they did, yeah, it was quite a remarkable drive, because they did that overnight, and they got the car there the morning of as quick as possible, and they did, and they allowed them to run some laps qualifying with both drivers to make sure it was fine. So that car actually, yeah, somehow made it to the race weekend.
That is brilliant.
But they made it all the way across China to get there, so that was quite interesting that they ended up happening. Had a nice looking livery on it as well, so as the Asian teams do. But yeah, they did not fare very. They were decent. They weren't really on the pace, but can't really expect that from a car that wasn't racing the entire weekend. Their main car was the 88, really, because that was the one that had Dries Van Thor in it, and well, with him in the car, he was on pole, really, and was the star of the GT field. However, penalties came their way for I think it was pit stop infringement. I think they were too fast in the pit lane or something. I think that was. Can't exactly remember what the penalty was, but they had in-race penalties for that, so that dropped them out of contention. That didn't stop Dries Van Thor from being a quick bunny, though, in that car, for sure. But the Audis were, well, the Audi, I should say, because the other one was a Mercedes, didn't really prove to be in with a shot anymore. Oh, no, actually, I remember now. That Audi didn't actually finish the race, because it had another fire when it was in the pit lane. So that actually caused it to have some damage, which made it have to be repaired on the pit lane, which caused it to not be classified in the end. So, yeah. So it wasn't a very good day for the or weekend for the TRST guys. The TF Sports Aston was in with a shot and led for a bit in GT. The send-off for the V12 Vantage GT3 was on pace, but just finished a lap down. Actually, no, 2 laps down, rather, to the other Ferraris. But, yeah. Of course, there was another class in GT, and that was the GT Cup cars. That was the Porsche Endurance Trophy, but they had 4 cars. The title-winning car for the Porsche Asia Championship was there, and they had a nice little podium ceremony as well. But LMP3 was won by a newcomer. So yeah, the race was actually pretty well. It was pretty good. So that entails well for the rest of the Asian Le Mans season. But the winners of the race overall in LMP2 was the aforementioned pole-sitting number 8 Spirit of Race Ligier SP2, Nissan of Alexander West, Tomeledegar, the ex-factory McLaren driver, also longtime driving partner for Alexander West, and the, if you have a Ligier, bolt him into it, driver of Pipo Derani.
Yes, although you might be bolting him into a Dallara quite soon, maybe.
Well, not quite soon, maybe. He is well, I don't know if a Dallara factory driver, but I'm pretty sure he's still a Ligier driver, but he'll be in a Cadillac DPI. Yeah.
Yes, and it's really not long to go until the Raw before the 24. Yay!
Let's see. I mentioned here the LMP2 winner was them. Where did my timing go? There we go. Not my timing, my results, rather. Yeah, it was the number 8 Spirit of Race Ligier, as I mentioned. And that was actually a step up for them, because they were supposed to be in a GT car, but for the season. But they popped into LMP2 and won. So that was actually Alexander West's first ever drive in an LMP2 car. Well, not ever drive, but first race in an LMP2 car.
Mm-hmm. Does have a bit of F1 experience, though, with the old Ferrari Corsa Clienti program, I think.
He may or may have, yeah. But he is the driver. He's the driver bankrolling that effort, and we'll see if they comes of that. In the LMP2, second in LMP2 was the 22 United Autosports Ligier of Philip Hansen and Paul di Resta, so they are new to this season, doing well for United Autosports on their Asian debut. Third overall was the second of the United Autosports Ligiers, the 23, that being the Guy, Cosmo, Patrick Byrne, and Sala Ulick entry. They also won the AM class for them, because LMP2 this season is divided into Pro and AM, so we have subclasses, if you will, in the same category. So the AM class was won by the 23, as I mentioned, Patrick Byrne, Guy Cosmo, those being a duo, Cosmo being Patrick Byrne's driving coach, and Sala Ulick being another of the drivers who is new to prototypes. And he did quite well, so the guys who didn't actually race in prototypes before ended up winning their first race in a prototype. So, well done to those guys.
Nice.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah.
That was how that one sorted out. And as I mentioned, the ARC Bratislava guys, they were pretty much there or thereabouts. with Miro Konopka, Ling Kang, and Darren Burke. So they did themselves well. And the 1 in 24, as I mentioned before, were retired. However, in LMP3, there was I don't want to say surprise winner, but surprising winner, I guess, is the correct way to say that. Because it was the Polish entered Inter-Europol competition LMP3 car that won. And they come fresh off their victory at Portimao in the ELMS with their really lovely green and yellow Ligier GSP3. With the very, very lovely yellow wheels as well. So nice flash of color there. They won in their Asian Le Mans Series debut for Jakub Szymczewski. I apologize if that's how you don't pronounce his name, but that's how I see it.
I think it's Jakub Szymczewski, I think.
Szymczewski? Okay, sorry.
I think.
I apologize, Red, if you're listening. Yeah, I don't know Polish names, so that's my bad. And Martin Hipp, so that was the driving duo there. They are also the same team of drivers in LMP3 in the ELMS. United Autosports got another podium in LMP3 with the number 2 for Chris Buncombe, Garrett Grist, and Wayne Boyd. The regular ELMS pairing there as well. And rounding out the podium was the number 36 Eurasia Motorsport Ligier of Nobuya Yamanaka and Aidan Reed. There was some drama in the P3 stakes as well because the number 38 Jackie Chan DC Racing car of Wei Chaoyin and Hugo de Sadelier actually was, I believe, disqualified because their third driver never drove, even though he was entered in to do so. Or something like that. It was something along those lines. But apparently that driver has a history of not paying money to anywhere he goes.
Oh, right. I see. So he's someone who likes to think he has loads of money.
Yes, this is the first time that has happened, and probably won't be the last. But
do I get bonus points for getting a Harry Enfield reference in?
No.
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
Yes.
Fine. Whatever you say, Pigeon. If you want to indulge him, then go ahead. Yeah. Anyway. Honorable mention, though, in LMP3 goes to about the race, and they were, of course, the driver pairing of Sarah Bouvie, Stephanie Cox, who's the daughter of Peter Cox, and Marie Iwaoka. Must admit I don't know who that is, but
whoever it is, you completely butchered that name.
Iwaoka. Yeah, Iwaoka. Iwaoka. Anyway, so they were honorable mentions for their running in the race. That will be a full season drive for all three of them, I think. If not, then it's just the latter two of the of Bouvie and Cox. But they will be in with a shot probably of winning some races. However, in the GT standings, we had the Ferrari battle, really. And that would be the first time debutante team in a Ferrari and the Asian Le Mans Series, and that would be the car guy. The car guy Ferrari for Takeshi Kimura, Kei Cozzolino, and WC World Champion James Calado in that effort. So no Ferrari money being spent there at all. No. And second was the number 51 Spirit of Race Ferrari Ford HE3 of another FI World Champion, Alessandro Pierguidi. A familiar name to those who know IMSA, Oswaldo Negri Jr. And also Francesco Piovanezzi, who is sometime IMSA driver and World Challenge driver. And rounding out the podium was the number 5 TF Sport by Red River Sport, Aston Martin V12 Vantage GT3 of Johnny Mollum and Bonamy Grimes. The normal driver who was supposed to be there would be Ivor Dunbar, but he was at home with either business commitments or a health matter with family. So he will be back for the next round.
I was going to say, I think it was business commitments he had.
Was it? Okay, I couldn't remember something.
I think so, yeah.
Either way, he was busy with something more important. So he was not in that lineup, but he will be for the full season. And in GT Cup, which this weekend was just a Porsche Endurance Trophy category, because it was the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia who were there. It was won by the number 16 Modena Motorsports team.
Beetle.
Yeah, sure, Beetle, if you are so inclined. Of Benny Simonson, brother of Alan Simonson. And Philippe Decombe, who I believe won the championship last weekend out when they were with the WC. Second was the 59 of EKS Motorsports for Lu Wenlong and Bao Jinlong. And third was number 21 Open Road Racing entry of Francis Tigia and Michael S. I don't know what Michael S. is, but that's what it says on the thing. And of course, the only other entry in that class did not finish, and that was the number 12 Earl Bamber Motorsport entry of Jeffrey Chiang, Graham Dowsett, and Will Bamber, who was brother of Earl Bamber. So, yeah.
A lot of Bamber.
Lots of Bambers. Lots of Bam Bam. As he's known as. But pretty good racing for the weekend, and it should set up for the nice season ahead in the Asian Le Mans Series. So, yeah. Good on them for that one. And now, with that done, we'll move into news for the what was known as the Verizon IndyCar Series, but now simply known as the IndyCar Series for 2019. And that sees quite a bit of information we have not discussed yet on the show. So
just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Like yes. I said, some of it may involve a certain Fred. Maybe, possibly. Also, in that same discussion, there may be topsy-turvy things going, will he, won't he? Okay, well, he will, but not with that one. Yeah.
But maybe with this one.
Okay, no, not that one either. Oh, so it's this one. Oh, okay,
but maybe this one when there's a full moon on a Tuesday. Actually, the second Tuesday of the month, to be precise.
Yeah, well, yes. Let's
in the
start with the Marcus news, yeah.
Yeah, he's confirmed for the full season at Schmidt-Peterson, alongside the mayor of Hinchtown.
The mayor of Hinchtown.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that's going to be quite interesting.
In the number 7 as well, because they're keeping the 6 open for Wickens for when he comes back.
And yes, I believe you might know a little bit more about how well his recovery's going.
Last time I checked, he's got kind of movement on his legs. He's trying it.
Yeah, he's starting to walk with assistance.
Yeah, but that's still better than what we thought he would have.
Yeah, exactly.
But sticking with the Schmidt-Peterson news, quite a bit of personnel changes behind the scenes, actually. This involving the team president, of course. That being one name familiar to people of the WEC and IndyCar and sports cars in general, that being Pierce Phillips, who has left Schmidt-Peterson to seek greener pastures. And that has meant that Taylor Kiel, who was with the team, has been promoted to team manager now from running general manager. He's now in charge of the entire team. Well-earned promotion for him. And also there's some changing in Hinchcliffe's engineering stand with Will Anderson becoming his full-time engineer after he was being split between the 5 and the 60 for the Meyer-Shank guys. Because Meyer-Shank has a technical deal to share crew and whatnot with SPM. So Will Anderson goes to Hinch, and the 60 will be looking out for a new engineer for next season as they seek to run more races, because the 60 will run 10 races next season. So they're nearly at a full schedule.
Getting there.
They'll get there slowly, but the important bit is that they'll get there eventually. And sticking with Pierce Phillips, because I just mentioned him previously, he gets a nice cushy job at Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing as their new team president. So he'll be a busy boy next season.
Can't be too bad.
He'll have his fingers in every proverbial pie, if you will. IndyCar, IMSA, and of course their new iPace E-Trophy program for Catherine Legg and Brian Sellers. Yes.
It's quite weird having those two as teammates.
It's quite weird considering one of them might not even be in IMSA next season. But yeah, just thought you had fallen over. Yeah, you are very quiet.
Oh no, I've not fallen over at all. I've my sense of balance is most good.
I doubt that. I'm pressing X to doubt.
The miscellaneous news here, which is one I must admit I didn't see coming, and that would be Marco Andretti being a partial team owner.
Really? In his own car?
Yes. Actually, it's bizarre, but Marco Andretti will be a partial team owner in the number 98 next season. He will have an ownership stake in that entry. So the name that was already a word salad is even more a word salad.
I mean, that is one way of securing your drive for the next 10 years or so.
This is true, yeah. Nothing like gainful employment if you own it.
Yes. Exactly.
The more Andretti's you put in there, the more it's owned by Andretti.
Exactly, yeah. So we now have the number 98 Andretti Herta Autosport with, stay with me now, Marco Andretti and Curb Agajanian Honda for 2019.
That's not that convoluted at all.
No.
I mean,
no.
I've seen worse.
How could you be worse than that? There's like 7 names in that.
I mean, the Ginettas.
Oh, well, yeah.
Whatever that was, CEFC,
CEFC TRSM. Yeah.
Yeah.
CEFC TRSM WTF BBQ LOL.
Still not the best as the Enso CLM P101 Nismo. That's the best.
Oh dear. It's nearly as bad as MSA Formula certified.
No, that's
by
just
the
stupid,
FIA,
Rob. No.
Powered by Ford EcoBoost.
That's just pure madness, is what that is.
Yeah, that as well, in fairness.
That's pure madness.
Oh.
Lord. Yeah, so they have him being a team owner, and also a news item that was seen and known, but still kind of weird is the fact that Dale Coyne has signed both of his drivers already, and we're still in 2018.
What? You're saying we're still not going into the paddock on Friday morning at St. Pete, not knowing their full driver lineup?
No, we will know the full driver lineup.
What about Saturday morning?
Yeah, going into qualifying.
Well.
Or Sunday afternoon.
Oh my god, I am shocked.
On the car.
Oh, but come on, that's not fair on TBA though. He is a good driver, brings plenty of funding.
Well, not enough, because Santino Ferrucci will now be in the number 19 Honda.
Oh god, seriously?
To partner Seabass.
Oh, at least they got one car that's actually going to last then.
So we'll see how he does. Hopefully he keeps all four wheels on the car and, well, he's not too much of a bother, and yeah.
And his thoughts inside his head.
Yeah, and keeps his thoughts, importantly, in his head, yeah. And doesn't try to run over anyone, but barring that'll be...
Get his phone out during a race.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I think you'll find that might be difficult, because there's no power steering as is, so yeah.
Yeah. And I've got some news that has literally just broken in the last half an hour.
Oh?
What's this?
It's Fonzie's pet.
Oh, wait, hang on. Stay with that, we'll go to that later.
Okay.
Oh.
But this
I know exactly what that is. We will end on that one, yes.
Ah, yes. And it's the news is that Fonzie is a very, very lovely looking dog.
Yes, well, that's not breaking news, Rob.
Well, yes, that's true, but there is actual genuine breaking news, Dan. We'll get to that later.
Yes, we'll get to that later. First, we must get through our IndyCar news. Yeah. So Ferrucci slots into the 19, and you must be asking, well, what happens to Pietro Fittipaldi? Well, he got a call up to F1 to ironically switch roles with Ferrucci. Because Fittipaldi becomes the Haas F1 reserve driver, or test and reserve driver, or just test driver, or a combination of those roles. Either way, he's with Haas next season, and Ferrucci used to be the Haas driver, so there you go. They've effectively switched spots, is what's ended up happening there.
Yeah, they've just done a trade.
I think the Haas guys got a better deal, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they have as well.
So it's good for Pietro, because that means there's another Fittipaldi in F1 now. And one who actually has money. But moving past that one. We will go to Ed Carpenter Racing, / Scuderia Corsa, / whatever is this week. The first bit of news is that Spencer Pigot stays in the 21. We knew this coming into the season finale. That was already known. So he gets another full season in the 21. However, the news that was actually more recent than the news we're going to discuss is that Fuzzy's Vodka won't be back to sponsor any of their cars. So the lovely green and black cars that they had run this season are no more. But the good news is that they have funding already for next season, so the sponsorship leaving is not that big of a deal to them. Now that that's said and done, there is empty space on the 20, but they say they filled that. And the driver who was filling the schedule, the good chunk of the schedule, minus the ovals, was Jordan King. Jordan King will no longer be there. He's gone somewhere else. More on him in a minute. So he leaves the 20. Ed Carpenter stays in the 20 for the ovals. That being Gateway, Indy, Pocono, and
Texas.
Texas, yes. Have that all in the wrong order, but anyway.
They're all there.
They're all there, just in the wrong order.
Absolutely.
Ed Carpenter returns to the 20 to do the ovals, where speculation was that the 20 would come full season ride and someone would get it. That's not the case. But this technically means a new team is coming into IndyCar because the team filling that slot is Scuderia Corsa. Now, if you know that name, it's because it's from IMSA and the GTD class winning team for the past, well, not defending team, but they were IMSA GTD class champions for 2 years running. And they will have another driver refugee in the form of Ed Jones slotting into that car. Jones, who we know was moved aside from the number 10 to make way for Felix Rosenqvist at Ganassi, finds himself a role at Ed Carpenter. So he will be in the number 20 Chevy for the road and street courses with Scuderia Corsa. And he also gets himself a ride at Indy for the 103rd Indianapolis 500 in the number 64. So that being Scuderia Corsa's number, long-time number. And that'll be a third car for Ed Carpenter. So that's their situation sorted and rounded out. Sponsors and whatnot for cars will be announced later. But it's all looking pretty good for them. Means IndyCar gets a new team in Scuderia Corsa, so it's all good for them. Now, going back to Rahal Letterman Lanigan, who it seems is just taking on influx of people who are not wanted elsewhere.
Just taking everyone.
They're just like, oh, you don't want him? We'll take him off in your hands. Yeah, we need someone. We'll take him.
Oh, do they need me to do anything?
No.
No. I think you'll find they need people who are good at things, Rob.
Bugger.
Yes. Now, if you were any good at being a journalist, they might find some use in you, but we know that's not the case.
Wow.
Sorry, had to be done.
Really?
Yeah, had to be done.
Really, boy? That's...
Oh, no. No. That's unacceptable.
Is it?
Anyway, going past your... Yeah. Disruptions. Jordan King finds himself a new home at Rahal Letterman Lanigan for the Indianapolis 500. So that will mean his oval debut and also his Indy debut, all in the same token. With a third car for them. And they are looking at adding more races to his schedule if he can find the funding. So that would be the rumored third entry for Rahal Letterman Lanigan. Being taken by Jordan King. So hopefully he can find some more money so we can see him racing more. Because he wasn't bad when he was at Carpenter, because at Carpenter's team, he had some pretty sporadic results, but they were there or thereabouts. He was in podium contention quite a lot before things of his own making took him out, so yeah, he's got the pace for sure. So we'll see how he does on an oval next season. But now that we've covered all the small news, we can cover the big news of, well, the season, the year, the maybe we should just call 2018 the year of Fernando. Yeah, because he's everywhere, really.
The year of the Fred.
Yes, the year of Fred. Yes. And this being, of course, McLaren's will they, won't they? Are they? Will they?
Will they this week? Won't they next week?
Are they? Will they? Could they? When will they? Yeah, that kind of thing. But McLaren has finally decided their future in IndyCar next season, and it will not involve a tie-up with themselves or Fernando for a full 2019 season. After speculation abounded of where they would go. Oh, it's going to Andretti. Oh, no, it's going somewhere else. Oh, no, it's going here. Oh, no, it's going there. Oh, it's not happening. Oh, it is happening. Oh, it's not happening again. Oh, it's happening again. that has finally, mercifully ended. And Andretti has said to them, "We're going our own way. You've taken too long. Good luck to you, but we're not going to fill your cars." Hence why the Harding group is now the Andretti-Steinbrenner effort with Colton Herta and Patricio Ward, because McLaren couldn't get their ducks in a row to the deadline Andretti had laid out. So that's gone for the full season. And they had the possibility of running together with Andretti for the 500, but that has changed, actually, quite dramatically, because, well, they've hired lots of people for their efforts. Because they were talking with Andretti Autosport, Ed Carpenter Racing, and Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing over a potential effort for themselves in partnership for like an Indy 500 or for the full season. But those talks died. And Zach Brown has just decided we're going to do it ourselves. So...
I'm going to do it, Mom.
No, quick, mute him. No. We'll not have that. Nope. I think Rob's been thoroughly shut up now. Yeah.
Have I?
It's been put in timeout.
It's been, if only, yeah. Anyway, McLaren has finally found the money somewhere. They've begged the parent company for the cash to finally
down the back of the sofas.
Yeah, they realized, oh, we sold 3 more cars this week. We have enough for an IndyCar program. Yeah.
And I'm sure they'd have enough for an IndyCar program if they just actually, with all the money from the new Speedtail or whatever it's called.
Well, that's what I said. They sold their final allocation of Speedtails or whatever. So they're just like, oh, we found all the money, guys. Yeah.
Well, was it down the back of the... Oh, no. Remember, this is McLaren. Ron Dennis wouldn't have that.
Ron Dennis isn't there anymore.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, it is definitely down the back of the sofa somewhere then. Just to spare, I don't know, a few million quid. They were
having fun. They just scattered it around the wind tunnel. Yeah.
Yes, doing aerodynamic properties of coins for the Bank of England. They weren't, by the way.
They should do.
Oh, actually, God, don't get pitching started on aerodynamics. No.
Oh, yes.
Past this. No.
Yes, please. I'm interested in aerodynamics.
No, we can talk about this later, not now.
Bugger.
Fernando Alonso and McLaren will be their own entry for Indy under the McLaren Racing banner. And apparently a second car is being discussed. Who knows if that happens? Who will that be? Nobody knows. Perhaps it's Stoffel Van Dorn. Maybe, because I think he's still a McLaren factory driver, so who knows how that works out.
Colin Braun?
There's possibly.
Jimmy Johnson? No, Jimmy Johnson said he'd only really want to do...
He won't do the 500. More on Jimmy Johnson, actually, oddly enough.
Later
because,
on.
like I said, Fernando Alonso apparently controls all the news items in the world and all the driving lineups.
It's why motorsport.com might well be renamed AlonsoNews.com.
Hey, if long as it's good news, I don't care if he's in it. Yeah. If he's doing something positive and it means something really awesome's on the horizon, I don't care if he's involved.
And there is a lot of awesome on the horizon for him.
Yes. The IndyCar team will be staffed by people not currently in the F1 team, which was oddly specified in the press release for this announcement. And it will be run separately from the F1 program, which is probably a good thing because I don't think they want failure with their IndyCar program.
Yeah, they actually want to finish in the top 10.
More to the point, they actually want to, finish stuff.
Well, unlike F1, they actually have to qualify for the 500, so they need competency.
Hashtag Bump Day.
Yes, well, Bump Day this year is probably looking like maybe 5-6 cars going home, maybe?
Excellent.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah, that's what it's looking like.
That was brilliant news, because of course Bump Day this year, we were talking about it. Well, you were watching it and basically telling me what was going on while I was having dinner, and every so often
halfway across the world you were.
Yes, halfway across the world to Berlin, where every so often the conversation would just end up with me going, "Ja, eine große bitte." Yeah,
and me just nervously going, "He's not gonna make it." Yeah.
Of course, I made it back into my room.
Not you.
Not you, Hinchcliffe.
Oh,
Hinchcliffe. Well, I mean, I don't even have to worry about that. I know you won't, because you can't even get in an elevator.
No, I can get in an elevator.
You can't get out.
You can't get out because you'll get on the wrong floor. Yeah.
Well, I can get off at the wrong floor and walk. I mean, I have legs.
You wouldn't have to do that if you got off of the right floor. But anyway, getting back to the point, Bump Day should be interesting. So they need actual expertise, and for that, they've actually plucked, oddly enough, another retiring man from F1. That being Bob Fernley, to lead the newly created McLaren IndyCar as president of that operation. And he will, quote unquote, build and lead a technical team entirely focused on the 2019 Indy 500, while helping to evaluate the feasibility of a longer-term McLaren involvement in IndyCar. So,
Thunk.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
I think you have to think much into that statement to see, oh yeah, they're coming for 2020. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what that says, basically.
Yeah.
You don't hire a man of Bob Fernley's experience in North American racing to just go, nah, we only want to do Indy. Yeah. That's going to happen for 2020, so who knows? I don't know who's powering it. There's rumors it's going to be Chevy, but I haven't seen it confirmed by anyone.
Because that's why Alonso's driving a Cadillac in Daytona.
Has that been confirmed by anyone in IndyCar?
Teaming up with GM brands for Daytona and Indy.
Yeah. It's that,
so
that was
Mark Kent has confirmed it then.
When I said news had broken earlier, that was that.
Oh, so that's what that was. Okay.
Oh,
well, excellent. Okay.
Should we quickly finish that off then, since we've already started it?
Honestly, that's actually pretty neat, considering McLaren has a long history with GM anyway. Yes. So I wonder if that was almost as if it was on purpose.
Yes, he'll be alongside Jordan Taylor and Renger van der Zande, and another driver, believe it or not.
Renger van der Zande, who's now a gold driver, yeah.
No, because joining those three will be one Mr. Kobayashi.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Is that confirmed or is that rumored?
Confirmed.
It's Kobayashi.
Right, okay.
Kobayashi, Alonso, Taylor, and Van der Zande sharing a car. Fucking hell, that is going to be something.
not just a car, a Cadillac.
A Cadillac DPI. As well, yeah.
A Cadillac DPI VR, yeah.
At Daytona.
I wonder who's paying his salary. Yeah.
Well, I think the reason why Kobayashi's there could well be to
well, he's a Toyota driver, obviously, but I don't see who's paying for Fernando to be there, unless he's driving for free, which I wouldn't put past him at this point, really.
Yeah.
Just driving for the sake of it.
Yeah.
He needs something to do. He's bored out of his mind till March.
He's only got, what? Indy, Le Mans, Spa.
He has a giant chunk of his calendar empty. Yeah, he's not racing till March at Sebring.
Well, given that Jenson Button probably won't be doing Super GT next year.
Says who?
Sky. Sky TV.
Yeah. You're really going to believe the Sky F1 report?
No, he's on the Sky commentary team.
Yeah, he is genuinely on the Sky commentary team for all 21 races, and of those 21 races, 6 of them clash with Super GT.
I think the sensible thing would be that Jensen wants to defend his title in Super GT next season, so they find someone else to replace him during those 6 races.
Yes. Then again, this is Sky, so
it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that that's going to happen.
yeah, true.
Because I can't imagine Jensen's going, I'm having so much fun winning again, and then all of a sudden going, well, I'm out, guys, bye. Yeah.
Quit while you're ahead and all that, etc., etc.
He's openly admitted in interviews that he's having fun for the first time in years, and now he's just going to be like, nah, I don't want to have any more fun. I'll just do WEC driving. Yeah, no, I don't buy that. I do not buy that for a second. So, yeah, that news has broken. So, we'll see how that turns out, because mentions one Mr. Jimmy and Johnson. So we'll see how that works out, because they had a car swap at Bahrain.
Yes, Dave.
And he impressed quite mightily in an open wheel car, which is something he's never driven before. Which is,
and Alonso did quite well in a stock car.
Well, it's not hard to do well in the stock car. I mean, Lewis Hamilton did well in the stock car.
I mean, if
well, that was different because they were in the wet. But
if Alonso did genuinely take part in a sprint cup race at, say, well,
Daytona.
Hang on, you actually think he's going to drive a NASCAR stock car?
If he did
on
that
an
as a
oval
one-off at Watkins Glen or Sonoma,
I think you'll find that those dates might be clashing a bit with WEC.
Yeah.
Considering Sonoma is on the weekend of Le Mans.
Oh, the bloody idiots.
It's always typically the weekend of Le Mans or the weekend of Michigan. That's why no one can go to Le Mans if they wanted to. Because if it was open, then Jeff Gordon would have gone there by now.
Well, I can imagine that Kyle Larson would have, and Jimmy, and
Kyle Larson, if he given the chance, would have gone to Indy, but Ganassi won't let him.
Well, that's a bit stupid on Ganassi's part, then.
Oh, he just knows that he's the only thing keeping his NASCAR program afloat.
Oh, dear.
Kyle Larson got hurt, no one could drive the car. That would be the end of the NASCAR program. Because literally no one's there to take up the slack.
Oh, I was going to say maybe Dixie have a little go in NASCAR, Scott Dixon, but then again, we all remember what happened when Dario tried driving a NASCAR, and that was not good. Did not end well.
He hurt himself at Daytona, so yeah.
Yeah.
It was a Talladega. Either one of those.
It was a somewhere.
It was the super speedway, that's all. Yeah, so that news is broken. Any more major news that has actually broken? Because I think that's the one I was looking at, but I wasn't sure of any others that crossed the proverbial wire. No? Nothing?
No.
No.
No?
Don't
Okay,
think so.
well then.
I mean, there was F1 testing today, but
testing care.
Yeah, there's no much to talk about apart from Kimi Raikkonen didn't last long in his Sauber because that packed up on him.
I see. So Ferrari gave the Saubers the bad engine. I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome back, Kimi.
Welcome. Here you go.
Bakale.
Anyway,
probably what Raikkonen was saying.
There's F1 testing. Let's see here. What else is this weekend? Oh, there's that GT festival thing.
Oh, Bahrain.
Oh, that.
The Bahrain GT festival.
Bahrain.
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 I don't think you want Bahrain, no. I don't even know what is running. It's that weird GT Nations Cup thing. What else? What else is this weekend?
Nothing.
I know that's running there.
Pretty sure everything's finished.
There was something else running there.
Let's have a look.
I don't know.
GT4 International Cup.
Oh, right. Okay, so just pointless things are running this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's great. Really, the only thing you need to watch this weekend is, of course, the Thunderhill 25 hours, because there's video coverage of that, and that will. Yeah. I don't know how great it will. And that should be pretty fun because Thunderhill's great. So, yeah.
And will you be going?
No. You realize how far away Thunderhill is?
Well, it's the same state, I think.
Yes, but that's near enough, like, almost still 3 hours away from me.
Yeah, well, that's like saying that we could go to Knock Hill. Because California's the size
of there, though.
I mean, it'd be like saying going to Knock Hill to watch the North London Derby this weekend. Given that I'm a Tottenham fan and I believe you support the other team in North London. The only
team in London, because London is red.
No, it's not. It's definitely not blue after what happened at the weekend. I know that.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
We have now thoroughly confused Forza.
Forza is literally sitting here thinking, what the fuck, at this point.
It's a good thing it's at the end of the show, then, because, yeah. I can't think of anything else to say, so, if you have coverage or if you're so inclined, watch the thing from Bahrain. If not, watch Thunderhill.
If not.
Other than that,
racing
is wrapping up, sadly. So, we will see what's else lies in store. There will be, I'm thinking, rather. Well, not even me. Me and Rob were thinking. There we go. The royal we. We're thinking of having another awards kind of thing coming up in December.
Yes. There may not even be a quiz this time.
If there is, you're not doing it.
If there is, you can do it this time, Pigeon. Yeah. Just make it more like universal.
If me and Pigeon have to be a contestant in it, you're not.
Well, it didn't go that badly last time. I mean, I only had to try and get my laptop working at some point.
Yes, it did terribly. It happened terribly. So you're not doing it again if it happens.
Damn it!
It's not happened. There'll be an awards thing later in December. Next week there may or may not be one because I may or may not be in LA on that day. So
and I am most probably going to be at a friend's house drinking.
He will be drinking. Yeah.
I won't be here either, so.
Oh well, then there you go. That settles it. There won't be one next weekend or next week, and the week after that will be a Formula E special previewing the season. And after that, will be the awards thing or whatever we decide to do for that. So I think that would be the end episode of this series. And then, the hell are you doing, Rob?
Blowing my nose.
Of course.
Oh dear.
That will be the end episode for this season. Yep. So, and then we'll start afresh with 2019. So that's some future planning for you guys. So keep that posted.
We've done that for ages.
I know. Haven't done that in ages.
Planning? What is planning? Alien concept to me.
Anyway, yes, we've talked enough. So we will see you 2 weeks from now. So bye, guys.
Auf Wiedersehen.